So there's an article going out that's allegedly about Ubisoft developers, and they're saying that Ubisoft as a company brushes off legitimate criticism as toxic gamer talk. And basically, the DEI policies that have infected them have led to brain drain. So this article is on that Park Place, and we've been talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows for like the last 5-6 months. We've covered all the nonsense from it, and just this week it was delayed. And there's rumors that they're taking notice of the criticism. I even saw a rumor floating around that they're thinking of reducing Yasuke's role in the game. I don't think they're going to be able to do that in the 3-month delay time span that they have. It's way too late. The game is fully complete. But to see developers of this company that's been wokeified, I mean, they have a mentorship program that excludes men. They have this Yasuke narrative amongst other problems that they have with employees, community managers, everything. I'm not surprised. So this was an interesting read. This says alleged Ubisoft developers claim that the company either ignores legitimate criticism of its business practices in games or brushes it off as toxic gamer talk. They also claim that the company's DEI policies have led to loss of talent in both technical expertise as well as creativity. So a hostile, toxic work environment, just like Firewalk Studios, where if people didn't comply and call the professor, and they didn't, participate in the woke ideologies, they were shut out. So that's what that's saying to me. I couldn't imagine working at a company like this. Then again, all the companies in entertainment are starting to slowly but surely get cooked like this. Now, continue on. This says YouTuber Legendary Drops reports he spoke with a number of Ubisoft developers and specifically asked one how Ubisoft internalizes and discusses general criticism from players and the rest of the industry, whether that it's repetitive design, agenda-driven content, or predictable games. So this is alleged, all right? There's no verification. We don't know if this is some kind of story that he's coming up with or whatever, but it wouldn't surprise me if this was a real answer from somebody that works at Ubisoft, given how poisoned they are. So apparently the developer responded, at a high level, they rarely talk about it. At a project level, they brush it off as toxic gamer talk. As Osmond Gold correctly pointed out in one of his videos, Ubisoft is filled with toxic positivity that prevents growth. And toxic positivity, that's what happened to Firewalk Studios with Concord. They didn't want a environment that had nobody in their echo chamber, which is ultimately why they failed. You're surrounded with people that don't have individual train of thought, and Ubisoft as a company, if this is to be led to be true, is following in the same suit, and that's not good. That's not good for creativity. Like Elon Musk said, DEI kills art, and if you have DEI running everything, you're basically limiting yourself to the possibilities, and it's retarded. Now, continuing on, it says, after being asked about Japanese gamers sharing their own criticism of Assassin's Creed Shadows, the developer stated the criticism hasn't been talked about, and Ubisoft only issues demands that we mustn't engage with discussion on that topic publicly. So I believe that because they literally shut down debates about Yusuke being a samurai on the Assassin's Creed subreddit. Yeah, they literally will ban you for saying he's not a samurai or engaging in a debate that it could be constructed as you as being hate speech, right? And honestly, I could see them avoiding it. You tend to see a lot of these people that work for Ubisoft under protected tweets, even though they have attacked white men in the past and other things like that. So this article continues to go on and talk about Firewalk Studios, like I said, saying that they engaged in a similar practice with Concord after significant backlash to the game being showcased. Basically, director of IP Kim Creans at Firewalk Studios eventually addressed it in an interview saying, yeah, that trailer, that moment's a tiny slice of everything that we've been working on for years and years. We're excited for the game and for the IP and the game to be in people's hands, the IP to be in people's minds. I personally very excited for IP, for folks to delve into the Galactic Guide, if that is something they choose to do. For those vignettes to come out on a weekly basis, you'll start to fall in love with the depth of characters. So basically, calling the backlash a tiny slice, trying to say that it doesn't matter. Keep in mind, Concord launched and shut down within 2 years, so it absolutely did fucking matter. This toxic positivity that all these wokies are starting to promote. That's why they get caught in their feels when they're in a real debate or in a real conversation. They don't know how to handle a difference of opinion. And it says, not only did a Ubisoft developer share that the company ignores criticism it receives to its own detriment, but Legendary Drops also asked about Ubisoft's commitment to diversity and inclusion in its workplace. And the developer said, so far, those initiatives had no impact on the team I'm part of. However, it's clear that some topics are taboo. What happened is that now people end up in a meeting with HR for trivial stuff because some are reporting it for harassment. Wow. And then it says, one of the things that wasn't in your video is that Ubisoft had some controversy during Me Too, letting go managers in high positions and some left on their own before they would be discovered. So apparently there was sexual harassment as well. And the developer said the editorial direction and overall mindset shifted from Boys Club to save content. Reaching for plain character K in Star Wars is the perfect example of this. The idea to have beautiful characters such as in Baldur's Gate or Uncharted is met with distrust. So yikes. Save content also leads to limited opportunity on the gameplay side. Even for Star Wars, we had to work with Disney, which would have shut down most attempts at depicting a true criminal underworld. So yeah, definitely, if you read this article, it's just talking about everything that Ubisoft is going through at this point. And it's really interesting, especially when they're talking about how there's a constant cycle of turnover with people that has led to a noticeable drop in quality. There's designers that don't have any experience with mechanics in FPSs, people that have never played FPSs. It's actually quite striking to see what is happening to this company that seems to be a shell of its former self. And again, a lot of this is because they're doing DEI hires. They're filling out check boxes. They have to be like, oh, we have to hire a certain amount of women. We have to hire a certain amount of gays. We have to hire a certain amount of trans. We have to hire a certain amount of people of color. And instead of just hiring the most qualified people to it, you're shutting out people. Inclusivity isn't diverse. In fact, it's inclusivity is almost exclusivity because you're shutting out people. You're limiting yourself because, oh, that guy, he's right wing. We can't have him at all. And that's what it sounds like. So if we're led to believe that this is actual answers from, I guess, employees and developers at Ubisoft, this is sad to hear, especially when we hear of all the trouble, the strike that's going on. There's a union literally calling for a strike. Assassin's Creed Shadows got delayed. Star Wars Outlaws underperformed. There's an investigation by the board at Ubisoft that's going to be looking at everything for review. The stock is also at an all-time decade low. So this company is in trouble, guys. It is in trouble. So what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Subscribe if you're brand new. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching.